Now, to your point, absolutely, the livability of St. Lucia does stand out. The festivals, the jazz, the carnival, the nightlife there's a buzz to it, unlike some of the smaller, quieter islands. And as a result of that, the investment opportunities. And again, just to create context, so my understanding, and you correct me if I'm wrong, you can apply for citizenship based on $100,000 donation to the National Economic Fund, real estate for $300,000, buying $250,000 in government bonds, or investing $1 million in local enterprise. Now, in terms of that real estate option, somehow real estate as a vehicle for citizenship by investment has come under criticism by certain influencers online. They say it's not value for money, it's hard to get rid of it, it's overpriced, the yield is not there. What are your comments? What are your thoughts on that, the real estate option?
So I think it's a bit of a difficult, situation when it comes to real estate. So in the Caribbean, I think what the issue historically has been is we've had generally across the region a fair amount of white elephants, so to speak. So projects which started and they don't finish. And I think there have been some really good projects. So I think Secret Bay, for example, in Dominica, I think they recently announced that they've had over $1 million in US in returns to investors recently. I think, Kapinski is another beautiful property in Dominica. And I was actually in Dominica less than a month ago, and I had the pleasure of seeing what that is, So I think real estate can be a good vehicle. I think, like anything else, you need to be discerning when it comes to making that investment. I think it would be a bit naive to think that, hey, you're just going to have a guaranteed return. I don't think that just from an investment perspective, generally, that very rarely happens in anything, So you need to look at, hey, what is being built? If it's not yet completed, what is the feasibility of what these people are trying to do, And then take a real hard and educated look at what that specific project is. Because I think, again, for every white elephant which didn't finish, you have a few gems like the Kapinski in Dominica, like Secret Bay, as I said. I think Range Developments, they're doing really good work across the region. And all of their developments have either finished or are set to finish. I think in St. Lucia, Galaxy is not yet done, but I'm just, looking at where they're going. I think what they want to do should be a really beautiful resort, which can hopefully get returns. But again, these developments are all by private developers. So you need to be discerning, you need to look at your investment. And generally, if you're just like, hey, if you don't want to really think about it, don't go the real estate route. Because it is an investment, and like every investment, there is a risk. So anyone who's telling you, hey, just spend $400,000, you're gonna have a guaranteed return, and after the 5-year holding period, you're guaranteed to make your money back, that person is probably lying to you. But if there's someone who tells you, hey, this is what we have, these are our projections, we think in 5 years, with the way the market is going, if things go this way, you can't do this, then that's the discussion you need to have on a case-by-case basis. But I do think real estate can be a good avenue. And I think from the perspective of the country, the CBI real estate can be very beneficial because it attracts not only more foreign direct investment and tourism, but also creates more jobs for the local economy. So I think there's definitely something there. I just think that people need to be more discerning, and also governments need to take steps to ensure that these developers are well regulated, that these properties are built, because that's the only way you're going to move the stigma away from real estate in the Caribbean, by having a track record of consistently good completed projects, which may not all give you the return you want, but which, when all things considered, everything was well regulated, there was a system that everyone was accredited. I think that's really important.
But Darren, I'd like to hear your view on this, because obviously, I mean, there's a bit of it out there, in the virtual space. I mean, I have my own personal views about, investors being a little more discerning and exploring and prodding, asking the right questions and ensuring that it's also aligned with their investment and their portfolios and what their expectation is. But I'd like to hear from, sort of hear your perspective on it, because at the end of the day, it's still a general business proposal. And I mean, there's only what is slightly different. This is not a pure real estate investment. There's this added, icing on the cake, which is the citizenship.
I think, I agree with Keith's, point of view. And I think not just with CBI, but just personal finance in general, there's a problem. There's a problem. And we saw it come to a head a couple of weeks ago with FTX not in a neighboring Caribbean jurisdiction. So you have FTX and other, not just, I'm not going to pick on FTX, but other investment opportunities where you have influencers in the space and who may not be from a finance background, but they are trying to promote these investment opportunities. And perhaps, they're sometimes subject to a little bit of an exaggeration in terms of their sales pitch. It just lends itself to problems, and it lends itself to problems. So whether it's real estate or crypto or a personal finance course, whatever the case may be, if anybody is promising you that you will be wealthy and you're going to be a millionaire and you will get a return, obviously, it's probably not true. And you see it in stark contrast to influencers and analysts who are properly qualified and credentialed for what they do. They never make recommendations because they understand that, of course, there's always an element of risk, and everybody's risk profile and everybody's personal goals, financial goals, are going to be completely different. So they're not going to come onto the platform and speak generally. But unfortunately, as a result of their prudence and their conservative approach, they don't tend to attract as much visibility as that guy or lady or whoever is going to be on a platform shouting, "You're going to be rich. You're going to be rich like me. Here's my whatever," by buying this or investing in whatever it is I'm being paid to promote today. So yeah, I think it comes down to caveat emptor, buyer beware. Do your due diligence and make your own decisions. And that's just the way it is. All right.
So if you're a 6, 7, or 8-figure investor, entrepreneur, or business owner who needs a tailor-made solution from a qualified team of professionals, we can help you achieve the international lifestyle, the freedom, and even the tax savings you're looking for. Visit us at htj.tax and live that international life.